West Tennessee's mobile banking gives you greater access to your money and more possibilities within your reach. It's easy to use. Just follow a few simple steps and you can bank the way you live, on the go. West Tennessee Bank, a division of Decatur County Bank. We think you'll like us. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
There is a quorum present, so we'll proceed with the meeting. I have an approval of the agenda, and we're changing the second and third positions.
I make a motion. Second.
All right, thank you.
I know it's not about that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, then we will go ahead. First thing is our consent agenda.
Motion approved.
We have a motion second. Pass consent agenda. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is approved. The next thing we'll go to is our celebrations, and I think we have a few things tonight. Mr. Gilser?
Yes, we want to take an opportunity to thank the teams who were able to participate in the state championship. Now, to get there, it took some big wins, and I know we didn't bring home the gold, but we brought home a lot of successful stories, a lot of successful memories, a lot of excellent play, and really what is resonating with me high is a lot of good sportsmanship, and I appreciate that. The edge that Chester County brings to the playing field is high, and people know that they got to get their act together and their game together to compete well against us. So tonight we got 2 of 3. I want to make first mention one who did not show up, just so it has a record of it. Austin Warren, who represented our Chester County Eagles boys golf team, was able to qualify for the state championship in golf. And Colby Brown was the boys coach for the golf team. So we're proud of his success, and I'm sure, I don't even know, what grade is Austin? Is senior. So the next crew needs to step up their game and be able to go also. But we do have 2 coaches here, and I'm going to let the lady go first, Coach Stephanie Hatch, and she's going to come and recognize her guys that shows up tonight. Now remember, it was in the paper recently, but our boys cross country team, I just want to say a few things. That they placed 13th out of 24 teams, and this is of all size teams. This is not just a group of like Class A or Class AA. This is a lot of different schools competing with much bigger populations of students, and usually much better, more opportunities for kids to excel in those areas. But our guys placed 13th overall at 24 teams, and 2 of the members placed in the top 20. Evans Allen placed 2nd overall, and Gideon McManus placed 20 overall. So Stephanie's going to recognize 3 of the guys that are here for hers, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So I just stand right here?
You can stand, come up here a little bit more so you can be on the camera too. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like he said, Evan placed 2nd at the state this year. Gideon was 20th, and our boys placed 13th out of 24 team, and it is Division I large schools. And so I wrote down Seagull, Bartlett, Brentwood, a lot of bigger, Knoxville. Any others that stand out to y'all? Okay. They're not gonna help me much. They brought home pretty much every first place out of our region, pretty much every time we went. This year, placing anywhere from 1st, 2nd, sometimes 3rd and 4th, 5th, and then on down. And so Evan is not here tonight. He's our fastest, and he did finish in 15:32. Gideon finished in 16:37. So if that tells you anything, there were 18 boys ahead of him that were less than 16 minutes and 37 seconds. And in case you don't know, that's 3 miles, 0.1 something, something, something. So a 5K. And then all of our boys finished, our top 5, starting, Zach is our 5, and then Carter is our 4, Tucker's missing, he's our 3, and then Gideon, and then Evan, and then TJ come on. Both of these guys came on this year, and I said I wish I'd had them since their freshman year, because they really stood out and really tied in that number 5 spot and 6 and 7, because those are really important. It's important to get the 1, 2, 3, but those 4, 5s, and 6s are what make your score low. Because if you've got a number 4, but yet you've got a number 120, your score goes way up, and then you kind of go on down the totem pole. But this is, you have to
You gotta stand up.
This is Zach Blue. He is a senior this year, so I will be losing him, and I hate that. And
Zach, why don't you come around here?
Yeah, come on.
They can see you, so mom and dad can see you on the camera.
This is TJ Hall. He is our number 6 runner, and again, he started this year, and I can only imagine, had he been with me all 4 years, where he would have been. He's an extremely strong runner. They're both very impressive to just be starting this year with cross country. So I fussed at him several times for not being with me longer. And this is Carter Welch. Carter's a sophomore, and I have had him since a freshman, and I am looking forward to his junior and senior year, and I'm looking forward to his leadership skills in our next couple of years as well on our team. So they're a good group. I've always told them I'd take them anywhere, most of the time. But I'll take them anywhere, and I don't have to worry about them. And they're always going to represent Chester County well. So I'm proud of them, super proud.
Very good, guys. Okay, and lastly, we're going to recognize the girls' soccer team. Now, I suspect many of the girls are either on the beta trip or have some other time commitments.
Yes.
But with us tonight is Coach Jason Judd. As he comes up, I don't want to steal his thunder, but I'll just give you a few quotes. Again, they finished their regular season record as region, is it 7AA champion, with a 14-2-1 record. When they went to the state, again, they came up short for the state, the first match, but that team that they competed against, Greenville's soccer team, went on to win the state championship, went straight through. This is for state competition, their third appearance in the last few years. 2014, 2011 were their 2 prior teams, or times, that they went. And then again, we see here with us tonight is Jason Judd, and then his assistant is Stacy Irwin, which is not present. So, anything you want to add to it, Coach?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, we finished with a record of 14-3-1 since we lost at the state tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we did. We lost to the eventual state champion in Greenville. They were really good. One of the biggest drawbacks that I say about this area, not the school system, the area, is the quality of competition that we see. It's hard for us to simulate the competition level once we start going east of the river. The competition level starts going way up. So while we can be a dominant force on this side of the river, we start going east and it gets very, very difficult. So for us to make it to the state tournament and to actually compete this year was really good. It was good for the girls, it was good for the program. Mr. Kilzer touched on the fact that we've been, in 2011 was our first state tournament appearance. 2014 was our second state appearance, and then this year, and then in 2013, 2015, 2017, and 2018, we lost in the section game, which is 1 game away from state. So for the last 7 or 8 years, we've consistently been on that level where we've been really, really close. This year, speaking of being a dominant force on this side of the river, we outscored our opponents 122-27. So we had a very dominant team this year. One of the standouts, Claire Maxon, she's also with basketball. As soon as I get the paperwork finalized, she will be in the top 10 all-time TSSAA career scoring records. She finished her career with 161 goals and 61 assists. So I got to get with you and finalize that paperwork. But she'll be on the TSSAA website for all-time career scoring. So, yeah. So.
Well, I wanted to ask both of you, and I just remembered with Jason, how many are you retiring?
3.
3.
Yes, sir.
How many is coming back then? You got?
Right now I'll have 16 coming back.
Okay, very good. What about you, Stephanie?
Count.
Okay.
1, 2, Evans 3, Gideon is 4, Alex is 5,
I got a question. Is there scholarships?
Evan signed with UNA, I forgot to mention that, but he did sign with UNA. And I'm not sure exactly, but I know they had the best for him. And so, but yes, there are scholarships, absolutely. So I try to tell him, you get the grade, run, you got it.
Thank y'all for representing Chester County well. We appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.
And you can leave if you want. You don't have to stay.
I'm gonna go, I'll take care of my own.
I think Becky said she's treating you all up outside.
I've already cooked, but thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Remember
guys.
us.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Your kind came up with already.
He's the same maker.
All right, the next thing on here is our delegations. Is there anyone here that wanted to represent or address the board?
Well, if, I'm not going to speak on behalf of the one delegation other than Michelle Shirley, one of the junior or the high school parents, had requested to address the board to talk about the policy that we piloted this past trimester. And her concerns, you saw that expression in her letter. She's not here tonight to address it, but Dr. Catlett obviously was ready to address if you have any questions, since we were looking to see what type of success would be had from the incentives. So he's here to address those. And I see that his colleagues are here with them.
Yes, sir. They're the ones that gave me this material, so I appreciate them. First, we want to thank you for even letting us pilot the program first trimester. And if you notice, we just took some data that we thought that we could see real quick. And the day before, normally an exam, the day before a holiday or the day before a parent-teacher conference, usually students miss that day. They just kind of call it a skip day. If you notice here, this is Thursday before fall break, and and I want to thank Ms. Haltom and Ms. Emerson and Coach Murley. But 2018, you'll see we had 107 seniors absent that day in 18, and that dropped down to 42 this year. Then you take the total absent, it's 149 down to 73. So it's making a difference. It's people are talking about it, students are talking about it. You look down in the middle, it says greater than 50% increase in our senior retake day for ACT. We had 5 students that did not take the ACT retake the day, the senior retake. Now they've since taken it, so we got them to do that. And if you look down at the bottom, when a student has 3 unexcused absences, we have to start send letters home. And when they have 5 unexcused absences, we have to start an intervention plan for their attendance by the State Department. So you'll see in 2018 we had 45 at this time contracts with students that we had to meet with every 15 days. That number now is down to 15. So what we had around 103 that had to take the exam, or 108 that had to take the exam. We had around 60 students that appealed the process of taking a trimester exam first period. So first trimester. Ms. Halton sent an email out to all the students. So what we're trying to do is get them to take the initiative to sign up for a time, them meet with us, the administration, and tell us what the problem was. Why did you miss, the number over the allowed days? We had 60 students in appeal. Before we even started the process of exemption, we looked at those in 40 right away. There was maybe a death in the family. They had a medical situation that was out of their control. So we went ahead and exempted those students right from the start. So we had around 22 that we had a time, and about 15-minute time period, so we did that after school from 3:30 until 5:30. And we met with those students individually. They sat across from our administration, and we said, okay, what's the problem? Did you know the exam, what the rules were? You know, so they just got to talk about it. Out of that number, we had one child that had an unexcused absence first period, that had a 99 average in there. She's the only child that had to take the exam. All the others, we listened to, and maybe we're soft, I don't know, but we listened to them, and we said, hey, you know, we see that this was the circumstances, and they could prove that, and it wasn't a great number, it may be 3 days. So the rule is they can only miss 1 day in the trimester, and then they get to miss the exam day, so that's 2 days of the, you know, for that 60-day period. So what we're asking, if you would let us continue this process in 2nd and 3rd trimester. Now, the only issue that we have that we'd like to look into is we had students that were in school suspension maybe 15 days. Well, they're counted present here, but they didn't have to take the exam, but they were out of that class. So what we would like to do is if it's a situation where they have that many, or they're in school suspension and they're here, that those students need to take the exam. It will help them for their grade because they're missing that class time, and you know, that will help us. We're also, our tardies, we don't have the data for our tardies, but I'm telling you, y'all jump in here and back me up on this, but it is unbelievable the tardy, the decrease in tardies too, because 3 tardies count as 1 absence. So, I mean, they're getting to school. I was privileged enough to take a group over to Quality Metal today, and the gentleman, the manager, Mr. Fielding, said 90% of the people that he has to terminate is because of attendance. So I think we're doing our students a disservice if we don't show them in high school, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, what they're going to get into when they go out into the workforce. Again, I promise you, we listen. If there's a circumstance that is out of their control, if it's something that they communicate that with us, we'll talk to them and we will evaluate that situation and not, we use good judgment, you know, because we're not trying to get anybody. We're trying to make them aware and, you know, continue their acting. So we're asking to, one, to continue the rest of the school year. 2nd trimester ends around November 14th, and we're evaluating this year to see things just like we did 1st trimester. We made a mistake on that in-school suspension. Not a mistake, but it was just something we didn't think it out. So we'll look at that 2nd trimester and then 3rd trimester, and then have a plan, you know, ready to put in board policy or to ask, you know, be considered for board policy. Any questions? Again, Coach Marley and Ms. Halton, they do a great job, and we're just, you know, want to try to make a difference and make them understand how important it is to come to school every day. And the State Department is pushing us to, you know, they're on us to do the contracts, to you know, go get them at home or whatever we have to do, you know, to make sure the students come to school.
I make a motion, we extend the program to the end of the school year with that one change on it on the in-school suspension.
That's second. We have a motion to say we'll go ahead and approve that to the end of the year. Any other discussion?
Are there any other adjustments that need to be made other than just the in-school suspension?
Not that I can think of right now.
Dr. Catlett, the number of tardies to coincide with the detention policy from 30 to 4 as an absence.
They start receiving discipline on tardies at number 4. So it makes sense, once they start receiving discipline, that's when it starts counting against them. So that's why we wanted to move from 3 to 4.
And I tell you, I don't want to put Ms. Hatch on the spot, but I will, because she's here, she's great, she's here. But we got a classroom teacher, you know, that's here, and that's different from our office. You know, we're looking at this, you know, the hallways or whatever. Has it made a difference in you?
I actually sat in class. Either we were given a test, and I turned around and I did my attendance quickly. I did my attendance, and I said, "Y'all are all here today. You need like bonus points or something." But every child was in my class on a test day, and it has been better. And some of those ones that, oh, my toe hurts, I'm not going to be there today, are there. Toe hurting and everything.
think part of her concern was, well, you know, if we have this that strict, you know, but we've obviously got,
Well, all she gotta do is to.
well, that's what I'm
bill
saying.
it to them
But
if they got a
already got that in
legitimate.
there, so that
Here's
really
what I'll
kind
tell
of
you.
answered her question.
Here's what I'll tell you, if we gave him 2 days, they missed 2 days.
Yeah.
If we gave him 3 days, they missed 3 days. You know, so if we say 1 day is the day, and then you get that second excuse, because if they get 2, 4, 6, that's still under our 7 that we allow for parent call-ins, so we're in good shape. Now, some of those have missed some, but it was maybe a 2-day funeral that was out of, their control, and we're not trying to be hard to deal with on it. You know, if they come to us and say, this is the reason, now they missed 3 weeks for a death, then that's another conversation that we have to have. But, we have gotten positive feedback from parents, we've gotten positive feedback, especially after, because they didn't know. Now, once this ISS thing changes, now there'll be some negative probably at first, but when they find out, they know. We wanted to tell them on the front end, because, the trimesters get behind us, so now we've already had some students in in-school suspension, they need to understand, they're gonna be taking trimester exams. And I want to thank our administration, because, see, we stayed after, because the problem was, we didn't want the students to miss the Friday of the exam, because the next trimester started the following Monday. Okay, so we didn't want them to say, I'm gonna blow the exam off and I'm gonna just not worry about it. So we stayed after school Monday, Tuesday night, from both nights, 3 till 7 o'clock, and made sure everybody took exams. So we got around 55 done the first 2 days. So we had some, so we had around 50 thought they weren't gonna take the exam. We called them out of their non-tested subject areas, their CTE classes, no testing, none of them were in a tested subject, and got 100% of those students that took the exams. Now, we didn't give them as much credit. They could only get a 70 or 80 maximum, because, they didn't do what they're, on their end, they didn't do what they're supposed to do, because we didn't want to say, hey, these kids are coming and staying after school Monday and Tuesday night. They got full credit. But now those people made the choice not to come and didn't call us and didn't let us know what was going on. They shouldn't, they didn't deserve the full credit for that. So, but we appreciate you allowing us to get started, and I'm telling you, it's made a big difference for us.
We appreciate the effort that you all have put into it.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of taking this for the rest of the year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Dr. Kelly, that will be approved, sir. Thank y'all. Okay, the next thing is gonna be, teachers that are recommended for tenure.
Gentlemen, you have a spreadsheet that lists those. Mr. Thomas Leach provided me that content. In the month of October is when our teachers were informed of what their LOEs were. That's the least, or the level of effectiveness, which is conditional for them to be able to be qualified for tenure. Since 2011, tenure is established when a teacher has worked for 5 years full-time service, and within the 5-year window, the last 2 years exceeds expectations, which means it has to be a level 4 or level 5. It would be a spreadsheet like this.
Yes.
It's a single sheet by itself, so I know it gets lost in the mix.
I've seen it.
But the names of those, if I could read them real quick: Becky Hartle, Julie Hudson Miller, Amy Turner, Leah Beaver, Jennifer Showers, Stephen Reese, Davis Pardon, Carla Schmidt, Lindley Carpenter, Luke Lemons, and Darian Leith. Those, because of their LOE scores, qualify or are eligible for tenure. It's my recommendation that they're granted tenure for their work.
Motion to grant tenure to all mentioned.
Second.
All right, we have a motion second, all be granted tenure, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
They are granted tenure.
Thank you very much. We'll make sure they learn that tomorrow.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is going to be looking at some policy recommendations from TSBA. Y'all had those in the policy.
Too bad any questions.
We had several of those.
A book of them.
We have a motion to approve those.
Oh, I make a motion to approve.
I say that.
All right, any other
not just the ones that were
All of them,
TSBA,
yeah.
that's the
All.
policy committees. All right, very good. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, we just have to approve that we're in compliance, and there was a couple of things on there that Troy
Well,
pointed out that we
Yeah.
wasn't in compliance, but it wasn't applicable to our
Well,
system.
if I could address those three, there were three areas. We have a set of, again, this is state law and also state rules and regs from the State Board of Education that we have to admit or to demonstrate that we are in compliance, that we meet the letter of the law. There are three areas that we were not out of compliance, but we were just not applicable. Those three were public virtual schools. We don't monitor or maintain a public virtual school. The second one was under state academic standards. We do not have experimental projects or special courses. And then the third one was we don't offer through Chester County Schools the high school equivalency test or the GED test. We don't offer those. So now this has not always been the case, but now with things that are not applicable, we also have to express to the state why they're not applicable. And the justification will be included in the forms that's signed toward the compliance report. But all we have to do is says we don't manage these, we don't do these type of programs or school settings. So, but again, in all other areas, we are in full compliance with what we have to be in compliance with.
Make a motion
Have a motion, have a second. I have a motion second to approve the compliance report. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, it is approved. Next thing, we had a couple of updates, and I did want to say that I think that we're beginning to put rafters up on the baseball building. Have y'all been by there?
Has that done the baseball?
They started doing baseball.
All the trusses are up on the baseball. The decking and everything is up on the softball.
Yeah, I looked at it.
But the trusses started going up this week at baseball. The trusses are all finished and they're putting the decking on until the rain, put them out today. So I don't expect it to be long. And in the process, the next step would be for us to do the wiring and then the ductwork and the HVAC, which is gonna be done through the district. And then they'll come back and finish up their sheet. You wanna add anything to it?
Electrician is on standby, the HVAC units are in, and Mike McCormick's gonna plug in. It's his turn.
Sounds good. Finally worked.
At least make it.
Drawn out process.
Yeah. The only other thing on here was we did have, Troy had sent out, where we had been contacted about possible some land for sale over, I think, on 4th Street. And I told Troy that at this point, I don't know that we're in need of any land, since we haven't got any building projects coming up.
Before we built the new high school, everybody had their land, but we
Well, I had promised Matthew Webb, who was the owner of the property, that I would ask you, or include that with the agenda for you guys to consider. I didn't ask for any negotiable price other than his asking price of $1.3 million. But it's for approximately 52 acres. You got the information here. I noticed that representative from the realtor is here. Is it India?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She provided a little bit more details. If you want to see the bound copy of the same property proposal, she provided that to the office yesterday, I
Yes,
believe.
sir.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I mean, I just don't see a need for it right now.
I really don't.
Like I say, it's been great.
About 20 years ago.
About 20 years ago.
All right, anybody on the board have anything else? Next meeting will be here at the board on December the 12th.
I wanted to make sure that you got me, Ms. Heather Griffin and Ms. Eads from Student Health Council and the School Coordinated Health have been doing a kind of a recognition throughout the district, and I think they've done different groups, but this month was Mr. Kilzer's. They recognized him for director for the appreciation that honor or whatever, wanted to give that to the Imagination Library. So had some donations collected at the high school from different students and different staff members that want to thank him for his job and that he's done, and recognize that he's the winner this month. So appreciate the job that they do. They're recognizing district people throughout the whole school district. But I wanted to let you make sure y'all knew that.
Thanks, Doc.
Picture made today.